Try again. I'm the most awkward dog at the dog park. I'm really excited to be there. I have no idea what to do with the other dogs, and so I kind of go off and do my own thing, and I come off as aloof. I don't mean to, but it just kind of happens. And that might seem like a weird combination with Pecha Kucha, which is such a public forum. Proof in point, meet Clippy. So I use a clipboard as a business artifact, but also a physical barrier between the people I like. That's Brian Murray, another PK volunteer. I carry Clippy around with me. You can find him in meetings. I clearly have a problem. So how does someone who likes to keep people at a distance find a way to be of service, curiosity, driven, and really creative? I found that home at Edmonton's Next Gen. The very first event that I volunteered on was an odd little concert called River City Rockout, and it found a way for me to connect with other people and show that I cared about them through the way I knew how, which was obsessive hard work. Pecha Kucha, when I started, I was happy just to be part of it, but I didn't feel like it was my place to build something for the community. I thought I could be of service by doing what I knew best, which was marketing the crap out of it. So Pecha Kucha built a lot of steam really quickly. Those first couple, we didn't really think to take photos, so we don't have good archives. By the first couple of editions, we were selling out really quickly and needed to expand our audience. So with our friends at the Edmonton Journal, we started live streaming on the main page of their website. And what that meant to me is that there was lots of people like me who wanted to get connected, but wanted to do it on their own terms, as an observer, a supporter, a champion. This is the kind of notorious bad PKN at the church. Everything went wrong. It was dry. There was like a weird obsession with muddy shoes. But the worst part is our presenters broke the moral contract with the audience. There was random Q&A, promotion, and a tiny screen. But the good part is people didn't abandon us. Actually, more people offered to help, so thank you. This is one of my favorite Pecha Kuchas because it shows the variety and breadth of presentations and how early people showed off what they were working on and to bring people together. It also is the work of my favorite designer for that one, which was Gabe Wong. We didn't just grow a community of projects, we grew a community of friends and family. This is Christine with her wonderful 2 daughters, Artistic Sloan and Rebel Rouser Zara, and that core group from 1 to 20, we really grew up together, and I think the people who presented also found that community around themselves through Pecha Kucha. We got kind of bold as we moved on, and it wasn't just a platform for other people to express themselves, it was a chance for us to do that too. This is PKNX, PKN 10. Michelle actually built this in her house and took a photograph of it, and it turned into the poster, just because we wanted to see what we could try to do. We also toured the city so that we could show it off. And I also think some presentations work better in context. My favorite moment, hands down, is from Omar's other presentation about cats. Seeing Chase No Face on the big screen outside has more impact because you can see a cat at the park, but you can't at the Citadel. It also gave us a lot of license to ask for things we shouldn't. When the public art garbage trucks came out, I was super excited. No one else was. So I asked the city if we could have them, and they said yes. And so the teams came out, and we uplit them and made it a big deal because public art on garbage collection trucks is a big deal. The city wasn't the only one that gave us a lot of social license. The audience did too. We didn't really theme early PKs, and we just kind of did what fancied us. A bunch of us read a book and thought we should do a circus theme. So my apologies to all the presenters that had to try it in the round, unannounced. PKN felt very personal until it didn't, and not in a bad way. So from PK 1 to 16, it kind of felt like we were throwing a party and inviting people over. PKN 17 was at the Windspear, and to be honest, it nearly killed me. We did a 7-camera live stream across the nation, and we had no internet, so we ran it off a hotspot and had to ask the audience not to use the internet. So it was exciting to reach more audiences, but 20 editions felt like a good time to hand it over to new voices who would innovate and bring new ideas and more people into the fold. And that's the most exciting thing about Pecha Kucha, is to see it evolve and grow and welcome new faces. I'm really lucky now. That joy I felt at Pecha Kucha is part of my daily life at Startup Edmonton. This is Shay in our program room. And a big part of what we do is kind of help people find that community to support them as they build things, just like Pecha Kucha did for 300 different people. It's a joy and a pleasure and a huge responsibility. This is a picture from one of our most popular events, Startup Crawl, in the Jobber office. And what's really important about Startup Crawl isn't that we're drinking beer in a whole bunch of different startup offices. It's that we're creating stickiness between people who are working on things. So when you have that stickiness or social cohesion, people can form teams, they can switch teams, they can fail, and they can try again. Another event celebrating a decade this week was Demo Camp. So yay, Demo Camp. And what's really interesting about that is volunteers and a very small staff have kept community events running for a decade. That's an incredible achievement, but even more so because these are both content-based events. Without the audience saying, yes, we want to be there with you, they don't happen. This is me with the founders of Startup Edmonton, Ken Batista and Cam Linke. They overwhelm me emotionally and physically. What was important about including them is that they trusted me with their story and their message before we had a space or programs, and they always made sure I had a seat at the table and that my voice was heard. This is the team at Startup Edmonton now, and what I love is that I'm not the only awkward dog at the dog park. Sometimes that's a lot of different people, but they're my champions and they're my collaborators, and they always hold me accountable to build with them, not just amplify their message. So over the years, I have kind of evolved from being that dog that's really excited to be there but not sure what to do with the other dogs to find a path to be myself, but also to give back to my community. And so thank you to everyone who's made Pecha Kucha possible over the last 30 editions. It really wouldn't be possible without all those parts coming together. So thanks, team.
Thank you. Thanks, Stephanie. So, wow. Even with the whole bar thing, the slowness on that, I think we're wrapping up.